Bobby Marks, Kevin Pelton, and Mike Schmitz rank their top 25 players under the age of 25 based on future potential. Let's take a look at the top three. You see Jason Tatum right there. The 22-year-old averaging 30 points since learning he'd made his first All-Star game back in January. He's also shooting 47%. And this is Zion. He already owns the NBA record for consecutive 20-point games as a teenager. Zion averaging the most paint points by a rookie since that kind of tracking began. And then there's Luka Doncic, the top player on this list of players under 25 based on potential. The Slovenian sensation is on pace to become the youngest player in NBA history to score or assist in 50 points per game in a season. Ben Simmons and Karl-Anthony Towns round out the top five, according to our NBA insiders, and both are impressive in their own right. Through his first two seasons, only Oscar Robertson had more triple-doubles than Ben Simmons, and Towns already has the most points through a player's first 5 seasons with Minnesota. So you see this list, Seth, right there. These are the top players under 25 based on potential. What would you change and who would you put in if you're going to make those changes?
Well, I take Ben Simmons in and I put Brandon Ingram in. And that's who I thought coming out of the draft. Look, Ben Simmons is a really good basketball player. But you got to be able to make a shot. Like, if you're going to be a great player in the NBA, please take a shot, let alone make a shot. Yeah, he can defend. He sees the floor. He's a point forward, all those things. Here's the deal. He really hasn't impacted this team in the way that he needs to. And you know what? He's just not that impactful. On the other hand, Brandon Ingram, think about what he's done. 25 points a game, 39% from the three. He's 8th in isolation plays, productivity, points per play in isolations in the NBA. The guy in front of him is a guy named LeBron James. The guy behind him is a guy named Kawhi Leonard. This dude is only getting better. Makes shots, rebounds the ball, sees plays, can play in isolations, and he's going to continue to get better as he gets stronger.
He was drafted right after Simmons.
Yep.
And I remember having these conversations with you. At the time, you were saying you would consider taking Ingram ahead of Simmons.
I thought he was a better long-term prospect than Simmons because you've got to be able to make shots to be a good player in the NBA.
You know, we meant this conversation to be about Luka and Zion, but I think Simmons becomes sort of a lightning rod player because there are the expectations. He was supposed to be the next LeBron.
Yes,
and
was.
His total inability on the offensive end to do anything outside of try and score from inside the painted area is a major limitation.
It is a major limitation, but I'm going to still say this. If I'm starting a team today, I'm going to take Ben Simmons over Brandon Ingram. One, because he does things on the defensive end. He is a first-team all-defensive player. Then you combine the fact that he gets everyone involved. He's the type of player that you would want to play with. I wouldn't even considering him LeBron James. I would say he's more of a 6'9" Jason Kidd. Jason Kidd almost won the MVP shooting 39% from the field because he would rebound, he would defend, he would get everybody else involved. And so to me, that's where I would keep Ben Simmons right there. I love Brandon Ingram, but I'm not picking Brandon Ingram if I need to start a team and build around him. I'm still taking Ben Simmons for now. I think Brandon Ingram in a year or two is a different statement.
Well, here's the deal. I mean, let's talk about playoff basketball. What's happened in the playoffs when the Sixers have gotten to the playoffs? What do? They guard Ben Simmons with a power forward, gap him, keep him in front, take away driving lanes, and then get him off the glass.
Do you know who I haven't seen in the postseason?
Here's the
Brandon Ingram.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, because he's been on a young, bad team. All of a sudden now you see a team that's competing for a playoff spot because Brandon Ingram became an all-star. He is emerging, and you said in a couple of years, well, we're talking about players that are under 21. Who would you want on your team long term? I want a dude that can make shots, make plays, play in isolation, shoot the three. Oh, and by the way, has a really good feel for the game. Ben Simmons has a great feel. He is a liability because of his inability to make shots. He guards himself.
So sometimes the narrative on these things is also framed by the expectations.
Yeah.
The expectations on Simmons were enormous. They were Zion level. They were LeBron level, and he has not been that.
He has not, and I agree with everything that you guys are saying. His inability to score, to work on his jump shot, to actually shoot jump shot, that is something that has been frustrating. You can see there's issues with him and the way they're playing, but I don't know. I'm still taking him and what he does on the defensive end.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube.
For more sports and analysis, download the ESPN app.
And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.